Is anybody watching? Okay. Let me try it again. Hi, everybody. We're back. I'm Nettie Kay, and we are getting a little bit of a late start. We were having some technical difficulties tonight, so hope you don't mind. We're going to get going on this really important topic of why in the world do your baby portraits look older than they should? Do you ever draw a picture of a baby and it looks like they're like, 15 or 30? Yeah, that's happened to me a lot. So way back when I was first starting out, I hadn't had a lot of training, but I was trying to do my best. And the police station guys would come into my studio and kind of bug me on their lunch break, and I'd say, I am having a hard time with baby portraits. They always look older than they are supposed to. And they'd say, hey, we need somebody to do age progression. Just draw it the way you see it and see if it works. And so it was just kind of a crazy thing. I would laugh and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to figure it out. Well, we've learned, if you've done any portrait study, that the eyes generally fall halfway on the face. They fall halfway on the face rather than way up here. Sometimes if we draw them, we'll draw them up high because they're more important to us. So we draw the eyes bigger and a little bit farther up on the face. Well, that's not really the way it works. So I've just got the thumbs up that we can actually be heard tonight. I'm so excited. Woohoo. Yes. Okay. So anyway, where was I? The eyes on an adult, this is there we go. I'm going to drop this portrait. The eyes on an adult would be they land right halfway from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin. So on this beautiful Gary Melcher's poster portrait that I have from 1928, I think it is, we can see that the mother has from the top of her head to her eye is about halfway. So we've got the chin, so the eye to the chin is halfway and the top of the head is halfway. Well, if we know that, then all of a sudden we think that applies to everything. You ever go to the museum in Europe or wherever, they've got the Madonna and the baby Jesus, and the baby Jesus looks about like he's 30 years old, only he's in a 2-year-old. It's because they're using the same proportions on the adult head, just making it smaller for the baby. So that doesn't work too well. So now we'll look at the baby, and we see that the baby, his little features, he's got this head, really big head, okay, really big head, and then if I measure down, in comparison to the mom, his chin would be down here. So it means that the features on the baby's face are really low, really, really low. And so I'm going to pull up a little sketch pad. Ooh, that's a heavy one. And I'm going to show you something that may be familiar to you. See if I can do it. I'm going to draw you a character that you may know. And I'm going to go like this. I'm going to see if I can remember how it goes. Okay, here's the head. And then I'm going to put some little cheeks on here like this. Does that look funny? Okay, see, tell me when you can figure it out. And then I'm going to put in a little thing here. And a little thing here. And who is it? Does anybody know? Oh, I see. It's like that. So I'm going to make it like that. And then I'm going to go like this, like this. Oh, this is just beautiful, isn't it? And I have the little eyeball like this. And I'm going to give him a little hairdo. Oh, and he's got little eyebrows that go like that. Okay, who is that? That's Tweety Bird. Yeah. Well, Tweety Bird usually will have this big head up here on top and the features way down at the bottom with great big eyes. And that's why we love him so much. He's like, what does he always say? Is that I thought I saw a putty tat. That's what it was. He would always be chasing that. that crazy, or that cat would always be chasing him in his little cage all the time. But this is kind of an example of why we find him so cute, because he's got this big head and then he's got these little features here. Anyway, and the other, I have one more piece, a couple of more pieces, everybody, that I want to show you about. So there is another one. Oh, I laid it down. I did this sketch with pencil, but it was called a sketch and wash pencil. It's like supposedly graphite, but it's water soluble. Really, really fun stuff. And this is on a masonite panel that I just gessoed on top. I did the sketch, and then I went in with just some white acrylic gesso and began going over it and creating these gray tones with that wash of a pencil, and was able to get all these different tones. It was super, super fun. So I'm going to be doing a demonstration of that very soon. And then so I added more white and just did this in black and white and gray tones. Lots and lots of fun. You can also do it with charcoal. So you can do just a little bit of charcoal with gesso and create this kind of gray tone in different levels. So I'll go up to 5 levels of dark to middle tone to light to highlights and then into the cast shadows. But I just thought that was a lot of fun. This is a very good example of what it means to have the features down on the lower half of the face. All the features are on the lower half, and then you've got this huge, huge head right there, and that's what makes him look like a baby. Okay, so what are the other mistakes that you feel that you've made when it comes to babies? And, at some point we'll have some comments available that will be really fun. We're going to enable that very shortly. But one of the things that we do is we tend to draw with a very heavy hand. So if you're painting a painting or drawing a drawing of a middle-aged woman and you're using a really heavy hand and you draw lines all the way around the eyes, she might look like Cleopatra, or she might look like she had, got into a cat fight. So what you want to watch out is to make your lines a little bit more delicate and not just solid eyeliner around the baby's eyes. Look, you can barely see a line. We don't see lines very much in nature. We put them in sometimes, but we don't see lines. There is just shapes that kind of run into shapes, and where the planes turn away from the light goes into the shadow. The light's coming from over here, and you can see there's no lines around those eyes, are there? If you put lines around the eyes, it's going to cause a major problem, and you're going to make them look older, okay? So delicate, very delicate, sweet, beautiful, and delicate, not lines around everything, lines around the mouth, lines around the ears, eyebrows that look like Groucho Marx. Everything has to be done in a delicate, careful, don't lean your whole body weight into the panel or the canvas. It's just not going to be good. Okay, just saying, that's a big deal. So what have I said so far? Okay, the baby's face, the eyes are much lower on the face, and the features are closer together. Okay, so that means there's not as much space. Here's the biggest mistake that happens outside of putting the eyes up too high. Okay, the biggest mistake is that there's too much room between the eye and the nose. So this space will be too long. If you miss it by a millimeter, it's going to add an extra 2 to 3 years on the baby's face. A millimeter, 2 millimeters, it's going to add even more. And then this measurement from the nose to the top lip is much shorter, excuse me, much shorter than you think. And then the lip to the bottom of the chin. This little tiny chin is really, really small. Not great, big, huge, lumberjack kind of chin. It's super, super small. And then we have this little delicate little area there. So it's very, 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 very restricted in where it is. And the eyes sure look a lot bigger because that face is so much smaller as you go down. Does that make sense? I hope so. I have a few more examples. You know, the last time we got together, we painted a rendition of this particular one. I went back in and kind of reworked it a little bit because it was kind of wacky. This one's kind of hard to tell because there's a hat on there. So if I go from the top of the hat to the eye, and so this one's got this beautiful little face right in the right place. I just love this little painting, don't you? Yeah. So I've added the hat on there to kind of make it feel as though it's higher up here and lower down on the bottom. Who wants to see one of my earlier works of my son, one of my sons, baby Austin, who's now like 32 years old. Oh my gosh. Okay. I brought this out of my bedroom. Believe it or not, I did this one as a demonstration for a place, for a hardware store. We advertised and people came out, and I did this little painting as a demo. And golly, it must have been back in the early 90s, maybe. I don't remember. Anyway, probably maybe a little bit later. Yeah, actually it was about 2000. I think it was the year 2000. And so I did this little painting, and you can see, I'm going to test myself out. Okay, head to the eye. Yeah, that face is in just the right position. Good for me. All right, that's fun. Now, what you'll see on here is I've got this wonderful background. It's in a neutral, kind of a gray color. And you think, oh man, babies, we shouldn't be painting gray. But, you know, it looks really good because there's a contrast here. And so I have this beautiful kind of subdued classic gray look in the background. And then his little rosy, puffy, big, fluffy cheeks are in that nice cadmium color with the wonderful feeling of light coming in from my left side, coming in, and the light's on one side and it's dark on the other. This is really critical, guys. You might think, oh, I like this photo. I like a photo. It looks like the baby. I'm going to paint it. If it doesn't have interesting light, it's not going to make a work of art. It might look like the baby, but it's not going to be a very good work of art. And so when I say the light coming from one side, this is called Rembrandt lighting, okay? Whoa, it sounds so fancy, but it's Rembrandt lighting where the light, see how dark it is on one side? I hope you guys can see that. It's dark. It is dark on this side where the light hits the face, so that I have dark against this, okay? And then over here, this side is in the shadow, all right? So I have a shadow side, and then the shadow side has got a lighter background, and it merges somewhere in the middle up here. You know, it doesn't look like there's a big line in the middle, but I've got the dark, and then I kind of, I began putting a little lighter stuff behind here, so this is lighter than this. And then at some point it kind of merges in a fog up there, and it's a bit of a vignette, meaning he's kind of floating in the middle of the painting and looking like a baby doll. Yes, this is one of my favorite little characters. He was a lot of fun to paint. I have one more painting in the back room where he's looking out a window, wearing the same little outfit, looking out a window and having the reflection back on his face. So when you're taking photos, if you have the opportunity, everybody, put your subject in the light of a window where it's dark behind them, okay? Darken the room. You can put them in a doorway or in a window, and then have the light coming from one side of the face, maybe a little bit turned. You can try a couple of different poses, but don't just turn the flash on your camera in the middle of the day at noon, and you're just like, the sun is shining and there's no shadows. The shadows are what make paintings look like art compared to photographs. Okay, your photographs, some photographers will fill in the light and it just looks lovely. Oh, okay, that's great. But the best paintings, in my own personal opinion, will have a light, a middle tone, and a dark on each subject, including faces and vases. Okay? What I'm saying. All right, good. I hope you got that. Okay, so now I think for tonight, that's all I'm going to do for the moment. And I may, let's see how much time we have. I think we've just done about 20 minutes. I would like to talk to you a little bit about color in our next time that we meet. And so make sure you save up all of your questions and we'll see if we can get to them. What else did I want to talk about? I think that was it. We're going to be talking about how to mix that palette and what colors I use for various different skin tones. This is really, really valuable. And so I hope you'll meet with me again next time. And I'm also going to be doing, let's see, what is it? Oh, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night in my classroom at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. No, yes, 6 Mountain Time. I'm going to be in the studio and we have a special demonstration night that we're doing on Friday night in the classroom at Park Place in McCall, Idaho. So I hope some of you guys will be able to join me. And it's just a special time, open to the public, and you can come in and see our space and a little bit about how we teach class. Okay, I hope some of you will join me this fall because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Okay, well, I think that's all I'm going to do for tonight. And then the next time we meet, we'll do how to mix the palette, and I'm going to teach you how to put the strokes of paint on. And think about this, where this is going to be a special way to put the strokes of paint on to where it's like a cellular level. What I'm saying is painting your painting as though you're creating one cell connected to the next, to the next, to the next, just like an embryo, like our baby before they're born. Everything happens one cell at a time, not like this, not like painting a wall. We're going to paint the structure of the baby's face as it comes out. And I hope you can apply this to everything that you paint in the future. So do join me next Thursday night. I hope we're going to be here at 7 p.m. and I might do another one very shortly. So be watching out, you guys. You never know when I might just be in the mood to go live. Keep watching. All right. Love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, and go ahead and watch all the rest of my videos. I think there's 135 of them. Oh, and we just hit 500,000 views. Oh my goodness, if I had $1 for each view, wouldn't that be nice? Well, it's not about that. It's about sharing what I know with you, my friends. All right? Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.